What's going on, people? Good Thursday to you. Happy Thursday. Good afternoon, good evening, depending on what part of the United States you are in. Welcome to Pro Fan Talk. My name is Marcus Thomas. Thank you for joining me. As usual, we got a lineup of subjects to talk about tonight. A lot of opinions flying, a lot of things going on. Philly's in the news, people. Philly is definitely in the news. The NFL is still the gift that keeps on giving. Um, we still got some live information, some breaking news, and Sixers are still hot. Phillies are still hot. A lot of stuff going on. What's going on, folks? What's going on, Vince? What's going on, David? First people in the chat, I appreciate you. Appreciate you for showing up. What's up, TK? It is on and popping. Rob, what's going on, dude? Everybody's responding to the poll. We'll get to that in a second. But let's get it popping. Right off the bat, let me put this in. Breaking news. Now, it's funny when you say breaking news because I'm old school. Grew up in the 70s and 80s when news was everything. What's up, Charles? What's up, Sean? What's up, Murph? When news broke, that was the thing. And it came across the wire and you had the crazy sound effect, and all the old school folks know what I'm talking about. But when we get stuff now that's breaking news, usually somebody had a tweet or it came through social media. ZX11 Rider. What's going on, dude? Haven't seen you in here before, but welcome. Appreciate you joining us. So right before we started, I'm getting my notes together, and I saw what's going on with the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu, and big news is that the Eagles set up a virtual visit. They set up a Zoom call, a FaceTime, WebEx, however you want to do it. That's how they're doing it these days. But I'm like, I don't care. As long as they communicate with the man that we want his services here in Philadelphia, that is the only thing that matters. Make the attempt. You never make the shots you don't take. What's up, Pop? My dad in the house. You never make the shots you don't take. So, a little bit of wheeling and dealing with Howie and everything that's going on. Hopefully, he's shifting some money around so he can make something like that happen. I know the Philly fanatics want him to go after DK, but I can see Honey Badger and Green. I don't mind it. We need a safety. And if we can get him, if we can make a legitimate offer, let's do it. Stop playing around. We can't always build towards the future. We got to build towards now. We got to deal with what we got now. And I'm hoping that we can make a deal to get somebody like DK or get somebody like Mathieu in Philly because we need it. We need some playmaking players on this squad. I love the Hassan Reddick signing, but we need somebody else. We need somebody on the offense, actually. I don't mind shoring up the defense because me being a former NFL running back, I will be the first one to tell you defense wins championships. You can't win if you can't score. So bringing an elite player of his caliber on the team, that's what we need. We need somebody like Brian Dawkins. We need somebody like Malcolm, who just retired. Props to Malcolm Jenkins. He is that elite level player. And when I mean elite level, not even elite level. If you're somebody that's elite level, that's a bonus. You just got to be a good player to the point where when you go into your meeting rooms, teams have to account for you. Teams are worried about you. Teams have to game plan you. The obvious example that I give, not when I played, well, he was playing when I played, but Deion Sanders. If you played Deion Sanders, you had to scheme your game plan to go away from him. You do not want to go on his side of the field. That's the type of player he is. You have to account. Ed Reed was that type of player. Deion Sanders was that type of player. Palomalu was that type of player on the defensive side. So we've got for a minute, Daryl Revis Island, that whole thing, he played well. You never wanted to throw the ball to his side of the field. And we've got some holes to fill on defense, and this guy can plug a hole. Straight up. This guy can definitely plug a hole. So I want to see him come on down to Philly. So, hey, man, Howie, throw the kitchen sink at this bruh. Throw the kitchen sink at him. Go get him. Do what you got to do. I love Howie. A lot of people don't like him. I love what he does. I always like to call him the Wizard of Philadelphia because he does some wizardry, making these contracts, making the trades, doing the stuff that he does, just doing what he did against the Saints to get them trades for the Saints. So I want to see, what's going to happen. What is he going to do? I want to go after that. Speaking of the Saints, let's look at, in my opinion, how we fleeced the Saints. What's up, sis? My twin is in the building. But for all the talk, for all of the negative people that don't like Howard, this man makes the moves. He is very adept at shuffling things around to get yourself cap space. And now, this year, there are some moves that people they're gonna give you the arched eyebrow. Everybody wasn't crazy about bringing back Fletcher Cox. When we first let him go, we were like, okay, finally we're making moves. We're progressing. We're getting rid of some people that are long in the tooth, and then we re-signed him back for $14 million. And everybody was like, I wouldn't have re-signed him back for $14 million. I didn't necessarily mind it. I thought it was a little on the expensive side, but I understand. And if he can just be a solid player, he's not as good as he used to be. Fletcher Cox is not that Pro Bowl player anymore, but he can demand some attention. And he can open up some lanes on the outside to help some folks out. So I don't necessarily mind it. Yes, in my opinion, the price was a little bit high. That's the cost of doing business. We'll see next year. Because if Fletcher Cox ends up with 8 sacks, we ain't even got to get to 10. If we can get 8 sacks out of him, that's a good year. Let alone if he goes double digits. And can recapture some of that mystique that he had when he used to blow it up in the middle. So I don't mind it. Derek Barnett, but again, for what we paying him, I can live with that. He's a veteran. He's got playtime. He knows the system. So people are down on Derek Barnett because he was a top pick and he's not a bust. He hasn't played, in some people's opinions, up to the standard of that pick, of where he was picked. But he is far from a bust. Far from it. So if we can get, the only thing Derek Barnett has to do is to get that stigma off of him that he's a penalty waiting to happen. He has become, in Philadelphia, he has become the face of giving it away, shooting yourself in the foot. You got the offense 3rd and long, and we jump off sides. He's that guy. And we don't want to like that guy. So I think that in spite of how, I won't say how well he's played, maybe how average he's played. I can't even say average. He's had some good games, and then you forget about it because of the mental mistakes, because of the offsides in a crucial situation where we can get somebody's offense off the field and he screws it up. So that kind of balances his play out. And in Philadelphia, you got the people that are just tired of it and want to see him gone. What's going on, Frank? Thanks for popping in, bro. So, but the Saints got our pick, our 16th, 19th, and the 6th round pick from us. We still got an 18th, the overall 18th pick. We got a 3rd rounder, a 7th rounder, a 7th round in 2023, and a 2nd round in 2024. And I think, I think that might be wrong. I believe we still have 2 picks in the 1st round. I think I missed one. Eagles draft picks. Let's look that up. Let's be sure. 2022. See if it's updated. Number 18. Do we have another one? I thought we still had trade with the Saints. They kept the 15th pick in the upcoming draft. Oh, and we walked away with the 18. Okay, so we still got our 15, and we got their 18. Okay, so I missed our 15 pick. So we still got 2 first round picks. So, on paper, Howie has definitely won that trade. The first next year. Thank you. My notes are all jacked up. The first next year, and yes, we have 15. Yeah, okay. So we got a 1st round next year. Yes, because that's what we want to talk about next year. This is a setup for next year. We are in a win-win situation with that 1st round pick next year. And what I mean by that, and let me make it crystal clear. I am a pro Hurts guy. I want to see Hurts as our quarterback. What's going on, John? If Howie gets Honey Badger on a decent deal, we win the offseason. Absolutely. I think we already won the offseason, but that is a question mark based on how we pulled the trigger, made this trade, great trade in our favor. But it's like in school when you pass all the quizzes, but you still got the test, and the test counts for 40% of your grade. If we whiff on these draft picks, it doesn't matter. We better have some slant. Hassan Reddick better ball out. Whoever else we get on off, the kid we picked up, Pasquale from Indianapolis, better ball out. Because the free agents that we pick up have to pull the slack for the draft picks that we may have whiffed on. See Jalen Reagor. So we have to hit on at least one of those picks. I'm right there with you, Jake. We got to hit on these picks. We got to get at least one. If we don't hit on 2, we got to get one that's a player and one that contributes. And right now, J-Jaw he's really only contributed on special teams, but seeing as who we could have gotten instead of him, that's not good enough. Jalen Reagor, everybody knows his struggles. And I am one who firmly believes Jalen Reagor is a good player, but for whatever reason, his talent is not manifesting right now. He's fast, and I know he can catch the ball, but for whatever reason, he is not getting it done on the field. So it don't matter what you did back whenever. Don't matter what 40 times. This is where people finally realize combine doesn't matter. Brian Daly, what's up, dude? This is when people realize the combine doesn't matter. I don't care how far Malik Willis threw a ball against air. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter until you got a rush edge coming at your head. And you got 1.2 seconds to get rid of that ball on a dime at the location it needs to be to keep your offense on the field. All the other stuff doesn't matter. What he does against air doesn't matter. You knew he had a strong arm. If you ever watched him play, you knew he had a strong arm. But the combine stuff that doesn't matter. How that translate in the real game day. So, and now you get there's a lot of people who want to see because of all of the rumors and stuff like that. I know there was a report came out that Howie or the Eagles, not necessarily Howie, the Eagles were talking to Pickett. They were talking to Corral, and they're talking to all of these quarterback prospects. So now everybody's getting all up in arms because it's how we're going to pick another quarterback. They said Jalen Hurts is our guy, but could he possibly pick another quarterback? It's possible. It's definitely possible, especially looking at our track record. We gave Carson Wentz a franchise contract and then drafted Jalen Hurts, and then his head got all jacked up. So it can definitely happen. I don't think it's happened. I think they're doing what they normally do. They're not going above and beyond in any way, shape, or form. It's just now that every time, because the Jalen Hurts situation is so polarizing, anytime somebody does anything, we blow it all out of proportion. I love Philly, but we blow stuff out of proportion with the quickness. So, give it time. Give it time. All this free agency stuff means absolutely nothing if we whiff on the draft picks. John, I'm with you, dude. I don't think they make that move to take a quarterback early. I hope not as well. I don't think they're going to do that. I'm really, really, really hoping that we can somehow swing and get that defensive tackle from Georgia. Jordan Davis, I believe his name is. So, who knows? What happens if we get to our pick and Dean is available? Kobe Dean, linebacker from Georgia. I'd love to see that kid in midnight green. What do we do? Do we take that? Or do they go somewhere else? Because I'm thinking if we mess around and sign Matthew, all of these signings are possibly eliminating options for us. Not in a bad way, in a good way, because now we can get focused. Vince says the salary cap is going to go up. Howie's a master at contracts. Indeed. He will find a way to pay 3 first-round picks. Yeah, but now we don't have to. I don't ever think that we are going to take 3 first-round picks. It depends on what happens, and it also depends on what next year's draft class looks like. We're not going to do it this year. So we'll see. All this changes next year. So we basically talking in the wind because you don't know what's going to happen. Everything is such a crapshoot. You know what I mean? Everything is a crapshoot. Everybody's talking about Miami. Miami's a crapshoot. You know why? Because as dangerous as Tyreek Hill is, he's one play away of being off the field. That's all it takes. He gets nicked up. He gets hobbled up just a little bit. He's on the bench. So we'll see what happens. My dad wants to know how he's doing some smart things. Why so many Eagles fans throwing bricks? Because it's Philly, Pop. Plain and simple. It's Philly. People are hypersensitive in Philly about the Eagles. Howie could make the best deal in the world, but if there's one thing about that deal you don't like, everybody's going to focus in on that one deal. And just like Jalen Hurts, Howie is probably the next most polarizing figure in Philadelphia, because you got a lot of people that love what Howie does. I am one of them, but you got a lot of people that hate what Howie does and thinks he should have been out 2-3 years ago. So I say let Howie do what he does best. The only way I see Howie actually being on the hot seat is if we just straight up whiff like we did 2 and 3 years ago in the draft. When you miss on Jamar Chase and DK Metcalf and all those other players, and we got Jalen Reagor and J Jaw, when you miss that badly, now you should be on the hot seat. So if that happens again, Howie's going to be on the hot seat. I don't care that he signed a 3-year extension. That doesn't mean nothing. Y'all know how contracts work. That ain't nothing but the paper they printed on. They will tear that stuff up and pay out his money, and Howie will be promoted to fan. So we cannot miss on these draft picks. We got to get at least one right. At least one. And we can't have somebody play as bad as Reagor has been playing. You can have somebody that's playing and saying, he's just a guy. He's not putting up great stats. I can live with that. But I can't live with having a top draft pick be a liability on the field. And sometimes it seems like that's what Reagor is right now. So I am hoping that this year he gets it together, because Howie's going to play him, period. He going to get his money out of what he paid for. So in my estimation, that's going to be Sirianni's biggest hurdle as a coach. Does he have enough confidence to go to Howie and say, listen, I ain't playing this dude no more. We got somebody better. Does he have enough guts to do that? Because you can't tell me that Quez Watkins wasn't playing better than Reagor. You can't tell me Fulgham wasn't playing better. You got to come with it. So we got to come with it. I do not want a small wide receiver, John. We got the most of the top times at the combines, 4.4 and under, were run by guys over 6 foot tall. I need a big receiver, a big, fast receiver. Hey, Mom. That's what we need. We need a big, fast receiver to complement Devontae Smith. We got to get somebody. We've already got the tight end. Goddard is the truth. And I think Goddard just going to get better. So we need that receiver on the other side. I'm not sure if Pasquale is it. He might be. Because there is something to be said when you bring one of your guys. He's one of your guys for a reason. You're not going to bring some scrub to jump in, because if you do that, people are looking at you like, what? You had to know this. Sirianni's not going to bring a scrub in to represent him and make him look bad. So I'll just take it at face value. The kid can play. So let's see if Sirianni can use somebody that he knows and has got a good reputation or relationship with to take it to the next level. So we'll see what happens. A lot of ifs, man. A lot of ifs. This dude, man, that contract though? They throwing away money. They throwing money around. $104 million extension, dude. Buffalo said, no, I ain't playing. Good for Buffalo. Because Josh Allen is a stud. He's here to stay, barring injury. And now he's got a number one target that's not going anywhere. That's what you got to do. You got to spend money to win them chips. I saw a thing earlier that said the Rams have no first-round picks. None. Rams do not have a first-round pick. But they got that ring, though. They did what they had to do, spend what they had to spend, and they got it done. So They say it's a copycat league. We'll see. It's a copycat league until you get to that ownership level. And then people, if you stingy, you stingy. You don't want to spend that money. But the teams that are winning money, winning the championships, their team's not afraid to spend money. Look at what Kansas City is doing after all of them big trades. They're like, okay, we go. In my estimation, Kansas City is must-see TV this year. Kansas City and Miami. It's a shame that they don't play. Kansas City and Miami is must-see TV because everybody wants to see how is Kansas City going to look without Tyreek Hill. And everybody wants to see how is Miami and Tua going to look with Tyreek Hill. Because something's telling me Tua going to mess around and go to the Pro Bowl because he got a weapon. But people can say, well, it ain't like Waddle ain't chopped liver. Absolutely not. So and it's going to be very interesting because the criticisms of Tua are basically the same criticisms of Jalen Hurts. And I keep saying this. Y'all know I keep saying this. Jalen Hurts is in his second year of the same offense for the first time in his career, college or pro. That is huge. People don't understand how big that is. Learning a pro offense is difficult. So I expect Jalen Hurts to be way better in this year than he was last year. So we'll see. We shall see. When is the last time we talked about Tiger Woods, man? I just want to throw this in there real quick. I haven't watched golf well over 3 years. Haven't watched it. I'm going to watch it this weekend. Tiger Woods is still must-see TV. Period. Tiger Woods is still must-see TV. People still tune in to see what that dude is going to do in the final round. Win or lose. If he ain't winning, he going to push somebody. If he is in contention, the world is going to stop. The sports world is going to stop. And this is going to be the lead story all weekend. So I can't wait to see it. I'm all about that because I haven't watched golf. Haven't been worried about golf. Now I'm interested in it again. That's the way the cycle goes now. Quest for DK. I think that I hope, pray that Howie's doing some of this wheeling and dealing in the quest for TK. Not TK. I'm a grandson of TK. DK. Shout out TK. I don't know what I'm hoping. And if you in the chat, let me know. Give me what's your opinion of DK Metcalf? Do you think he is a head case? Like, is he on the verge of being like Antonio Brown-esque? So I don't know. I'm not sure what he's doing. He hasn't really said much. Seattle act like they want to trade him. They don't want to trade him. All of that kind of stuff. But everybody got their price. And if we can meet that price, I don't know. But I don't think the Eagles can go for Tyrann Mathieu and DK Metcalf. You got to pick one or the other. It's like you got to pick your poison. So as long as we can get one of them, Jets offered their first rounder and they said no. It's going to, yes. William, you are absolutely 100% correct. Right on target, bro. Especially now that Devontae Adams has set the bar. That's the reason why Tyreek Hill got out of town. Tyreek was like, y'all going to pay me. To hell with a discount. I am the most dangerous weapon in the league. Y'all going to pay me. Because KC offered him a pretty sweet deal. $30 million? That ain't no chump change. And he said no and got what he wanted. I can't fault him for that. So now, if you are an elite level receiver, DK, I would consider him an elite level, a game changer receiver. Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill. I'm forgetting his name, but the guy that Kansas City signed to replace Tyreek Hill. He's no Tyreek Hill, but again, he ain't chopped liver either. And Kansas City got all them draft picks coming, so they're gonna fill that hole. And let us not forget the greatness that is Patrick Mahomes. You don't know what that kid gonna do, and now he's not a kid no more. He understands what's going on and his ability. So, they're not gonna be as dangerous without Tyreek, but they are still dangerous. Don't get it twisted. Kansas City Chiefs are still a dangerous offense as long as Patrick Mahomes is healthy and running that offense. Now, I don't know what DK wants. I don't know, maybe he just didn't want to go to the Jets. Why would you want to go to the Jets? Money talks, but in this day and age, people want to win too. So I don't know. He just seemed like he's kind of a he in that weird space. Like he really don't say much, which is not a bad thing. But we'll see what happens. Somebody gonna get him. I don't think he's gonna stay in Seattle. Because who's throwing to him? They still don't know that. Who's Seattle's quarterback? I'm surprised Denver hasn't made the heavy play for him. I don't understand that. But, everybody guessing. Everybody got a source, and the source is guessing too. Yep. I saw that yesterday, William. It'll take at least a first and a second and probably a 4-year deal close to $180 million. They done set the bar for these elite level receivers. But how many teams going to be able to pony up that type of money? Don't know. They better get Lockett go. They let Lockett go. Yeah. I mean, business is business and friends is friends. Don't confuse the two. So we'll see what they do. There's going to be a lot more jockeying for position the closer we get to the draft. So those draft picks are capital, and teams want them depending on what they're looking for. So the shaking and moving is not done. Yeah, he's 24, about to be 25. Yep, he's young. Greg, what's up, son? See, I was wondering why the Packers didn't go after Metcalf. I figured that would be perfect for Aaron Rodgers. Maybe they did. I don't know. But I thought that the Packers, when Devontae dipped, I thought the Packers would be the first ones to step up. Like, yo, we got to fill that gap for Aaron. So we'll see. We'll see. Let me see. We're gonna get back to Jalen training with Tom Brady, but I wanted to talk about where's my Oh, there we go. That's what I want to talk about. This dude right here, my dude. My poll question. Not even a question, my poll statement. Basically, Joel Embiid is talking himself out of an MVP. He's putting the numbers. He's playing defense. He's balling. Sometimes I wish he would ball a little bit more, but I ain't gonna. When you doing what he's doing, I ain't gonna nitpick. I can't nitpick. Can't do it. But when you go on, what was this? Got my iPad going next. When you go on Twitter or whatever, I think this was a tweet talking about, I don't know what I have to do. I feel like they hate me. Woe is me. I was like, come on, man. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Just ball out. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, That's a shame. But don't bitch about it. Don't cry about it, man. Just, there'll be plenty of people talking about how you should have won. I know it sucks, but the worst thing you can do is do this, is cry about it. And for whatever reason, it seems like only athletes that are not from the United States do stuff like this. Most of the time, if you a player from the US, you know what's coming. So most people don't cry because they're gonna clown you for that. And then, in my opinion, that just looks bad. Will, I'm with you, William. Embiid is the best player on the floor in the league. I'll say Embiid is arguably the best player on the floor in the league, because sometimes when you have game like Embiid, sometimes he gets infatuated with them shots behind the arc, and if they not falling, it'll take him 4 to 5 shots to realize they not falling before he'll go inside and post somebody up. So he's arguably the best player on the floor in the league. And credit to him, he's been pretty much healthy, because his health has been, let me knock on wood, his health has been what has held him back years past. So, and now this is crunch time. The closer we get to the playoffs, you ain't worried about LeBron no more in the Lakers. So now, the way things are opening up, one day it looks like Brooklyn is just balling on everybody. The next day they look pedestrian. So, in my opinion, nobody has really just stepped out and said, we are the team to beat, period. Miami's the same way. So Philadelphia, every time we'll put it down and we beat them by 3 and 18 and all of that kind of stuff, and then we'll get on national TV and lay a lemon. And in my opinion, that's when we have those national spotlight games all the time. He ain't doing it. And whether or not he has a good game gets overshadowed if you lose, and how you lose. And I think a big kink in the armor for Joel Embiid was that game against the Nets, because everyone was watching that game. Everyone was watching that game. And it's not that we lost, it's how we lost. Everybody looked garbage, hot garbage. So he gotta crank it up going down to the end. I still wish they would change it so the MVP goes through the playoffs, because if you're the MVP of the league and you don't take your team to the playoffs, in my opinion, you're not MVP of the league. So I just hope he stops talking, get off of social media, man, and just ball out. Dunk on everybody, keep hitting them threes. I think Giannis will win because they don't want to give it to Jokic twice in a row. But if Jokic, if he keeps doing what he's doing, they might have to give it to him 2 years in a row. But in my opinion, right now, it's Embiid's to lose. And he just got to start, just use a metaphor, he got to start dunking on everybody. And just his ground and pound in the paint just needs to be relentless. We know he can shoot threes, but for some reason, sometimes shooting threes don't give you that edge. But when you dunking on people and you in the paint, you still a big man, dude. You still a 7-foot big man. Dunk on everybody. So we'll see what happens. We shall see what happens. I wanted to let me deal with this. So with all of the wheeling and dealing, right? With all of the stuff Howie was doing, Um, all of that. So now the report came out. I think Dan Sileo said this. What that at first couple about a week or so ago, we were Jalen Hurts was training with Peyton Manning. Now word comes out that he's been training with Tom Brady. And the report was that he ditched Peyton Manning and now trading with his rival, Tom Brady. I'm like, when did Tom Brady become a rival? You got to get to that level to be a rival with somebody. So I ain't buying that for a minute. That's just clickbait. But I don't have no problem with him. If you training with the GOAT, you train with the GOAT. The problem is, I don't think he's the only one doing that. I think it's a bunch of people and they all get together. Stuff like that happens all the time. It'll be a lot of young players. They'll get with a rookie, or get with a vet. They'll go to their house or go to a place, and they'll all train together. We did that with Randall back in the day. We went to flew out to Las Vegas, and we worked out at LV for a couple days because Randall was from UNLV, so we went down there, worked out. But that's just what you do now. Somebody like Tom Brady was like, okay, yeah, come bring some of these young bucks so I can show them, drop some game on. So I don't think that it's like he disrespected Peyton Manning because that's the way they tried to make it sound. And I was like, come on, man, nah. Like, you got to be smarter than that. So if you getting some training from Tom Brady, dude, I'm all for it, bro. I'm all for it. Level up. Because you got to level up because you got 1 year to get it right. You got 1 year to get it right, bro, because they're not going to let you get another one. And I know you got the intangibles. Like, I wish so bad for Jalen Hurts to just show everybody wrong and just shut everybody up. Because there's some issues with how people perceive him because of running quarterback, black quarterback, and all of that kind of stuff. And it's like, listen, if Trevor Lawrence had your stats, he'd have been a Pro Bowler. But he just don't get that opportunity. He just does not get that opportunity. So realistically, he is our quarterback this year, unless he gets hurt or unless he just stinks it up so bad that it's just bad. I don't see that happening with him. I do not see all of this. I do not see that happen. Bold prediction. After all these years, I think we'll finally see Kaepernick back in the league with the lack of quarterbacks. He's been holding nice workouts. Had the Panthers and Lions look at him last week. I saw that. I meant to talk about that. I forgot to put it on my list, but glad you brought it up, William. Yes, I agree 100%. It's time for him to it's time for the league to just go ahead and just, admit that they were wrong, 100% wrong, and some team signs him. However, I still say that if it wasn't for everything that happened with his girlfriend, the Ravens would have picked him up. I believe it was the Ravens. And then the tweet came out and she said something. It was like, again, same situation like the Joel Embiid thing. Just shut up. Don't say nothing. They watch. They're gonna start having classes on not for players wives and players' families, on how to conduct yourselves on social media and how everything you do in one tweet can cost you a lot of money. They're gonna have to do it because that situation, if it wasn't, in my opinion, if it wasn't for what she said, I think they would have signed him. I think the Ravens would have signed him. And all of this wouldn't even be an issue. But I think if he gets signed, I think that has more to do with the state of the NFL right now. The stuff with Daniel Snyder, the inappropriate behavior, the stuff with Deshaun Watson, the stuff with Jerry Jones, the NFL owners just they punch themselves in their own eye. They give themselves their own black eye. So I think that has more to do with than anything else. How you gonna keep the man out of football when what he was saying is right, but you got the whole situation with Daniel Snyder and when they fired the coach John Gruden, that whole situation, and that's not finished brewing. Then you got Brian Flores. That's more fuel to the fire. So they just look wrong all around. So they got to do something to try to ease it up. TK, what's Maxey doing? I'm not watching it. I don't have the game on tonight, so put his stats up. But yeah, man, I think somebody's gonna sign Cap. Because I mean, we signed somebody out of that was coaching high school, hadn't played in a couple years. If we can do that, that's the hypocrisy of it. They'll swear up and down that he can't play and this, that, and the other, but you'll sign somebody that was coaching high school football a week ago and hadn't stepped on the field. We signed that guy to be the backup. He had to go in and play, and his legs was not ready for that. So you see the hypocrisy of the teams that talk that smack like they don't want to sign them, they don't need them and stuff like that. And y'all signing people off the trash heap just so you don't want to have to deal with that. And that's BS. So I hope you are correct. And I hope somebody signs him as a backup and gives him a shot. And Murph says 2 more people. Yeah, I saw that. 2 more people joined the Brian Flores suit. So that makes 6, I believe. It was 4. At first, it was him and somebody else. Then it was 2 more. He was at 4, and if 2 more joined, I believe that's 6. Seattle should have signed Cap already. I don't know why. Seattle better find a quarterback, or Cap will come back starting. So we'll see. But yeah, man, it's all connected, in my opinion. All of this stuff is connected. They're trying to do some goodwill. They got the black guy. There's still some stuff coming, I believe. It's too many people because of this Daniel Snyder situation. And now Daniel Snyder going to end up being like Al Capone. They got all this other stuff that's going on, but they're going to get him on some money stuff, tax evasion or something like that. So it's too much other stuff that's going on, and they have to address it because they look like straight hypocrites. And the problem only makes itself worse the longer you don't deal with it. So we'll see what they do. But yes, ultimately, I hope they sign Cap. I definitely hope they sign him. So, and this will be the first time for me. We got to say happy opening day to our fighting fields. Because you know what? I grew up playing baseball, but I don't watch baseball. Baseball has a big problem because we live in a short attention span environment right now. Social media and the speed that you can get information has made our attention span extremely short. And you're talking about a 4-hour baseball game. Having said all of that, for the first time since the last time they won the World Series, the Phillies are legit. The Phillies are legit. And I will be watching some Phillies games. And peace out, William. Thanks for dropping in, dude. Good stuff, man. Appreciate the contribution. The Phillies are going to have some must-see TV this year. Harper, Schwarber, Castellanos. If he could do the same thing he did for my Cincinnati Reds, hey, I'm for that business. I'm all about that life. They got the what's the young kid's name? Brian, is it Stott? Bryson Stott, I believe his name is. We got a fresh young player. Like we got a legit squad. If we don't make it to the playoffs, your boy gonna be fired. There is no reason this team should not make the playoffs. We got too many bats. The bullpen's gotten a little bit better. We'll see. Everything looks good on paper. We'll see. But there is no reason this team should not make it. And we got an extra spot in the playoffs. So there's absolutely no reason that the Phillies should not make the playoffs. This is the year. We got to make that push to become that top level squad that nobody wants to play. We got that type of talent right now. Props to the Phillies for spending the money. Going to get the good dudes that you need to go get. Props to Bryce Harper for being vocal about that. You putting people's behind to the fire, like, listen, that dude can help us go get it. So props for him to stand up to management and the suits saying, listen, y'all need to spend the money to go get who we need to get. So we're gonna see what's gonna happen. But I'm excited for the Phillies this year. And I couldn't tell you the last time I watched the Phillies game. I'm a baseball fan, but I cannot watch baseball. And it'll be interesting because I know they got the new rules with the shift and everybody's got a DH now. I'm interested to watch some baseball this year. So we'll see what's going to happen. And Philly got a squad. Now if we can only get these damn Flyers to make something happen. That's it. We got to go. We one squad away from being 4 for 4. The Sixers are hot. The Eagles are hot. The Phillies are hot. The Flyers are bringing up the rear. So we got to get them Fly Boys. We got to get their stuff together, man. So we can be 4 for 4. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm gonna be watching. I don't know. Did they play tonight? Did they play in what are they? Arizona? I'm not sure. Let me see. I saw the starting lineup. Our starting lineup, we got Schwarber as a DH, Real Muto, Harper in right field, Castellanos in left field, Hoskins at first, Gregorius is at short, Segura is at second, and Bryson Stott. Oh, they got him playing third. I thought he would be a shortstop. And Moniak is in center field. So that was a lineup. I would imagine they're going to keep that same lineup. That was a lineup yesterday when they played Tampa Bay. So, yeah, Phillies are stacked. I'm excited. I'm excited. Murph like the Flyers, like, ugh. Yeah, Murph. Yeah, that's some bad business right now. But it can only, when you're at the bottom, the only way to go is up. So hopefully they'll get a little bit better, but we'll see. But things are going to get very, very tight the next couple of weeks, the closer we get to the NFL draft. And there's going to be some more moving and shaking, some more dominoes falling. Baseball is ready to start. Sixers are going down to the wire. Let's see where they sit when the playoffs start. Because for all of this process and all of this Ben Simmons stuff, and that's another thing. Let's just talk about that for a minute. Ben Simmons is trying to sue the Sixers for $20 million to get some of that $20 million back. You should have brought your ass to practice. You stop with that. That was your choice. I don't blame him for you don't come to work, you don't get paid. Again, foreign player, they don't know how we work over here, especially in a blue collar town like Philly. Come on, son. Somebody better should have schooled you. But it's very interesting how nobody's really saying much about him being out for the rest of the year. He's not going to play. So just by that alone, if we don't keep Harden next year or whatever we end up doing, it was worth it this year, in my opinion, because we were getting nothing from that situation. Props to Daryl Morey for standing his ground and saying we're not just gonna give him up for chump change. And he stood his ground, and we got an elite player for him. Well, sometimes Harden don't play like an elite player, but it is a much better situation than what we had. We got somebody on the court that's making shots, that's making 3-point shots. I saw, I guess Maxey hit like 5 or 6 threes a couple games ago, and somebody was like, Maxey hit more 3-pointers in this game than Ben Simmons hit in a whole series, which is still crazy to me. So, I don't know. That whole situation is weird, and people have just forgotten about him. And like I still say, the whole mental health thing was a scam. I don't think he was. I don't think mental health would have been mentioned if he'd still be on the team. So, or if they paid him his money, it was just it's just a mess. So we'll see what's going to happen. Who do you think? What do you think about bringing Cap instead of potentially using 2 next year? I wouldn't mind bringing Cap here. You got a veteran. You got a runner. A much better arm than Jalen Hurts, strength-wise. I still would be unsure about his accuracy and his anticipation. He would be right in the same boat as Jalen Hurts. I would prefer to have somebody that's been playing for the last 5 years, but I wouldn't be opposed to it. I wouldn't mind seeing that. I think he would be. I actually think he would go well with Sirianni. I think Kaepernick would be the kind of dude that Sirianni could, see eye to eye with. So as far as the relationship, I think that would be good. Again, just because you throwing on, against air at the University of Michigan Pro Day or spring game or whatever, doesn't mean it, when you facing the Rams defense. So I wouldn't mind seeing it. I don't think it's gonna happen, but hey, stranger things have happened. I don't put nothing past this offseason because this has been the craziest offseason I can ever remember following football, hands down. So we'll see what's gonna happen. But I'm about to buy out of here so y'all can catch the rest of this Sixers game because it looks like things is getting heated up. Trying to get some guests for next week. Got some things working, some irons in the fire. I will let you know. Please hit me up on my social media page, my Facebook fan page, the Pro Fan Perspective. All right. I'm trying not to just keep it Philadelphia. I'm trying to go nationwide. I want to talk about all the football all around the league. We're going to focus here, but we're all connected, man. We are all connected. So let's expand this talk. So press the like button. Tell your friends about me. Tell a friend to join in next week. Join in the chat. And I will link back up with you next week, next Thursday, 7 p.m. right here. Be there, be square, man. All right. Appreciate you joining me. The chat was live tonight. I see my cousin jumped in. Tiny, miss you, love you. Thanks for joining in. And I'm about to get out of here. So you guys have a great rest of your week. And be better than yesterday, not as good as tomorrow, man. Peace.